Well, give us a gold star. We've secured our 5th league title, and now it's time to see if we can add yet another double. So, hello there everybody, merhaba arkadaşlar. Welcome back to the channel. Tekrar hoş geldiniz. I'm Dodgy Gamer, and I probably need a shave. Anyway, today it's Cup Final Day, Genclerbirligi against Besiktas. It's at the Ataturk Olympic Stadium, the big stadium in Istanbul. You know, that night in Istanbul, that stadium. Anyway, before we get into that, we're going to have a look at some squad news and bring you up to speed on what's been happening in the league. Okay, now you see the dynamics are all pretty good. Nice and green, match cohesion excellent, dressing room atmosphere is very good. Managerial support is also excellent. We do have some unhappy players, just a few minor things to deal with, but the big problem has become Mr. Holtman. He's been our hero for so long, and now we've just got this big hoo-ha, brouhaha, or whatever ha, forming with him. This all comes down to the sale of Ataturk. You see here it says he was unhappy at the sale of star player Ataturk, which took place, back last summer, like July, August. I'm not sure exactly when it went through. And there were other players unhappy about that. And each person who came to speak to me, I promised them that, look, we've got great youngsters at this team and you've got to give them time to develop. So yeah, I brought you to the promises screen. So here on the promises, this is where things are getting a bit strange. Evren Şengül was on here together with Gerrit Holtman, both of them with the promise waiting on youth players to develop, and both of them in reaction to the sale of Ataturk. Now, about a month ago, around the time we secured the league title, Evren Şengül said that he was now happy that enough players had developed. Gerrit Holtman came up to me a few days ago to say that he feels we haven't had enough youth players develop, and he's broken promises and all that, and now he wants to leave. And then, of course, he's a team leader. He's at the top of the hierarchy, so we had to have a huge team meeting about it. Luckily, I managed to bring the rest of the squad round. But what's very annoying about this is if I bring up the promises... Sorry, if I bring up the board confidence, club philosophies. Now, two things I agreed in my most recent contract. One was to develop players using the club's youth system, and the other was to bring in first team signings of young players. And you can see both of those are maxed out. It says here, the opportunities afforded to the club's young footballers has been a delight to see and should prove to be a major benefit in the long term. First team youngster signs. We are delighted with the number of youngsters who signed for the first team. So they're happy. The other players who complained about Ataturk leaving are happy, and Gerrit Holtman is unhappy. And some of those young players are keeping him out of the team. Maybe that's why. Anyway, that drama aside, let's have a look at how things have been going. So it's all been domestic football since that... Yeah, Tottenham. Let's leave that in the past. Anyway, we then went on to face basement team Alanyaspor. They've only got like 12 points this season, something like that. So put in a lot of backup players and still got a 2-0 win, fairly straightforward. Away to Adana Demirspor, also down in the relegation zone. A bit more hard fought here. It was a 3-2 win. We gave up 2 penalties. That was the problem. But apart from that, we were in control and we secured a decent away win. Başakşehir then. Gustafsson with a brace as we beat them. And then it got to these crunch games. Galatasaray and Besiktas, and this was a point where I knew if we won both of these games, we were going to clinch the title, and that's exactly what happened. 2 back-to-back 1-0 wins. I was considering recording an episode for these, but with all the Champions League action, I think this is the 7th episode for this season already, and I thought pushing it to 8 episodes was stretching it a bit much. Against Galatasaray, it's Mosameng with a goal in first half stoppage time that got us the win. That was an away win as well, so pretty impressed with that. And then against Besiktas, we actually only needed a point. We left it late, a Besse goal in the 80th minute, but that gave us a 1-0 win over Besiktas, which meant Galatasaray could not catch us. And we were champions for a 5th time under my management. Now, the gold star I alluded to in the intro, this is something in Turkey when a team has won 5 championships, they get to add a star above their badge, above the crest on the jersey. So at the moment in the real world of Turkish football, only the big three of Istanbul and then Trabzonspor have stars. Trabzonspor have the 1 star. I think Besiktas are they up to 3 stars now? Maybe our Turkish viewers can fill me in on that. Galatasaray have 4 stars for 20 titles. Fenerbahce have 3 also. So we've joined the Star Club. Then we had our second leg of our cup semi-final. Bit of a ding-dong battle, this one. 3-3 with Sivasspor. Again, there was a bit of rotation, but I think it was the fact that we were already 4-0 up from that first leg. The players were... there was definitely lots of the looking complacent coming up during that match, but a 3-3 draw. It was entertaining for the fans, and we got through to the final, which will be the focus of today's episode. Then we had Kasim Pasha away in the league. That was a tough match. They did, it was 1-1 at half time, but we just took over in the second half. And we had this youngster, Doğan Can Kilic, scored the winning goal, 16 years old. He becomes the youngest scorer in the history of Genclerbirligi, taking over from Mustafa Salam. So great to see him making an impact already. His potential ability is not so high, but current ability is already 1.5 stars. So hopefully, he can be a useful squad player for us. Then Alanyaspor, we beat them quite easily, 2-0. Nothing much to worry us there. And then again we played Sivasspor away in our most recent match. Now they were in good form. They're in 6th place. I think they were on like a 6-game winning streak, but we broke that thanks to Oscar and Tarek Ceylan. Lots of rotation here, resting players ahead of today's big cup final. So let's get into that cup final then. We are the favourites for this, in excellent form to Besiktas's inconsistent form. Some 75,000 fans, something like that, are expected today. Here it says, yes, 76,092 tickets sold. Capacity, sellout at the Ataturk Olympic Stadium. It's going to be a big event, excuse me. Yes, the only problem for us is Omar Korkmaz is suspended. So for that reason, we're not going with a defensive midfielder lineup. We're going with a more attacking lineup. And here, I haven't picked my first choice team so much. I've taken confidence in the players that got us here, because even when we played at fellow Super League teams in the cup, I brought in a lot of backup players, like the backup goalkeeper Levent, for example. So I'm giving them a game. Pimenta is another one. He's getting in the team because these are the guys that brought us here. Tarek and Özgür were the centre-back pairing that I use most often in the cup. I was actually thinking about it. This is the first cup game I've shown this season on the channel. But anyway, it's the final, so it's as good as as good a one as any to show. All right then, let's submit the team and see what we're facing. So Besiktas going with the defensive midfielder, so they've got a 4-3-3. Wow, look at that. Özgür Ortaç is the only original player in my team. The rest are all regens. I'll tell the players to pick up from where they left off against Sivasspor. That's struck a chord with a couple of people. We're going to tell the others here, I've got faith in you. Good stuff. Tunnel interview. Okay, usual thing. Sometimes I don't even read I just read the first few words of the question, and then when I've got what it is, I just pick my answer. All right, let's kick this thing off. Besiktas in the white, and we get to play in our red and black stripes. Shout out, by the way, to Grey Hair Gaming. I'd like to thank him for dropping a mention for the channel and encouraging people to subscribe in his recent May and June update video. Did pick up a few more subscribers after that, so if you're new here, thank you very much for subscribing. Hope you're enjoying the videos, and make sure you stick around as Gençler go on their quest to try and conquer Europe. All right, Besiktas with a chance there, nothing come of it. They've got a player injured here. I've got no detail on that other than that he's injured. Okay, Mustafa Salam looking nervous. It's a big game for him, 18 years old, one of our youth products, which is why he's got this little coding after his name. Jakub Duman, who's just picked up a yellow, also one of our youth products. Not an exciting final so far, not a classic final, has to be said. Looks like we're going to go to the half with no highlights other than that shot. Bit disappointing that. Oh, okay. But, you know, this is football. It happens sometimes. The fans are keeping themselves entertained. I mean, we've edged the game. It's just we haven't seen any of that edge. All right, then. We are going to tell the team... What are we going to tell the team? Go out and do it for the fans. They don't care about the fans. Yeah, go out there and do it. Okay, everyone's motivated. They should be motivated by all the bonuses they demand in their contract for winning the cup. Anyway... We actually lose money by winning the cup, I think. The prize money just all goes on player contract bonuses and so on. If we have player individual bonuses for winning the cup, why do we still have that like collective bonus thing in the game? I am picking up a few bookings here. We've got Van de Gen, Jakob Duman and Mustafa Salam all on yellow, so we're going to have to watch out for that. But here we go. It's an attack. Gure coming down the wing, whips in a cross. Besiktas half clear it. Van de Gen picks it up. Plays in Gure again to Evren. Ooh, with the header, but it's gone wide. Right, we're going to look into Pimenta. Pimenta is on a 69 condition, but he's not on a yellow, is he? He's not on a yellow. All right, I'm going to bring Mossameng on, though, for Pimenta. Mossameng has got a bit more of the big match experience, although he's only a youngster himself. 20 years old. He's got Bayern after him at the moment, Bayern Munich, so might be a battle to keep a hold of him in the summer. Besse's having a quiet game, so time to bring Gustafsson on. All right, let's let those two loose on the Besiktas defence. We haven't actually lost a game in the Cup for a very long time. I think this is our 5th final in a row. 5 years ago, Galatasaray beat us. Oh, and there we go. Özgür. Özgür has done it. In the 81st minute, he's put us in the lead. Looks like we've got another double on the way. And our unbeaten streak in the Cup continues. Yeah, we lost in the final 5 years ago to Galatasaray, and we haven't lost since. We've won the Cup. This is, if we can hold out here, this is going to be the 4th year in a row that we win the Cup. I'm going to bring on Mustafa Dikman. He's actually played... He's played a lot of the Cup games along the way. It's just, you know... I went for the senior experience of Şengül. And yeah, we haven't, even in the two-legged games, we haven't lost. So we're on quite the unbeaten streak in the Cup. And it looks like it's set to continue into next season. Okay, here we go. That's it. It's all over. Well, that was not a classic final by any means. It was a late goal that got the win for us after not very much action at all in either half, but a win's a win. We will take it. Another trophy for us. Let's hit the dressing room and tell the team, congratulations. Oh, welcome back everybody. Tekrar hoş geldiniz, and you join me on the final day of the league season. We are home to Alanyaspor, but why show this match? You know, with the title sewn up, Alanyaspor, they've got nothing to play for. Well, you know, after the cup final was a bit of a crap game, I thought we'll show this one. Plus, also, this is our final match in our Yeni Kent Eryaman Stadium. If you remember, if you've been following this season from the beginning, well, thank you. Thank you for watching. But if you remember, in the first couple of seasons, we played in the Ankara on Dokuzmaya Stadium, which is Genclerbirligi's real stadium. Then we moved out into this temporary stadium where we've been for the last, I think, 3 or 4 seasons. Well, our new stadium has been built on the site of the old one. That's going to be ready next month. So this is our final match here, our final match in our pokey little 15,000-seater stadium before we move into our grand spanking new 42,000-seater one. So it's a bit of a send-off. And here is how we're lining up today. Having earned our league star, we're going a bit for stars of the future with this match. So I have actually lined this up all with regens. I was saying just before the cup final we only had one non-regen starting there. Well, it's all regens here. The subs bench is the same with the exception of Utku Yuvakaran, the goalkeeper, who's normally our first pick but today is on the bench. I'm giving a debut to this guy, Salah. He's getting a debut because, well, he's got decent potential. He could get up there over 3 stars. He's already got 1-star current ability. He's only 15, but we're just going to throw him in there in the centre of defence. It's the last game of the season, so we can do that. We've got plenty of youth prospects in here. Jakub Duman starting as well, Omer Korkmaz. This guy also came through this year, Anil Aras. Now you see this one, he's got 5-star potential. He is just coming off the back of a minor injury, so he's just returned to fitness just in time for the last day of the season. He has already made a couple of appearances for the first team, as you'll see here. He got an assist in one of those appearances. We'll be looking for more of the same. Mustafa Salam is in there as well. Before the match starts, why not just pause it? If you want to drop a comment, we'll be looking at Player of the Year, Fans Player of the Year, and things like that after this. So who do you think it's going to be? I should mention at this point that Mustafa Salam won the Turkish Cup Player of the Year award, and he was second in the top scorer chart, so great stuff from him. Wow, Alanyaspor are really going defensive today. Look at that, a back five, a flat back five, with this Erkan Yeşil dropping even a bit deeper. 2 defensive midfielders, 2 wide midfielders, and this poor guy all on his own up front. Okay, team talk done, press conference tunnel interview thingy out of the way, and we kick off the match. Like I said, the final match in this old stadium that's seen some success for us. Have we won the league title every season we've been in this stadium? I think maybe the first season we were in this stadium we did. No, yeah, I think we've managed to win the league title every time we've been in this stadium, so it's been a good one for us. Not an exciting match again so far. Obviously, Alanyaspor's highly defensive lineup has a... Oh, look at all those white shirts swarming around. Gustafsson tried to knock a cross in, but they kind of half clear it. Mustafa Salam, ooh, bit of a rough tackle there from behind. Come on, referee, get a handle on it. Anyway, Van de Gen makes a breakthrough here, and he fires off a shot, but it goes wide. They're definitely going to be tough to break down. Maybe I should put 4 strikers up top or something like that. Anyway, here we come again. Van de Gen picks the ball up from Korkmaz, plays through Salam, and Gustafsson with the shot, but this time over the top. At least we're getting into the positions despite them packing the box so much. I mean, basically 7 defensive-minded players. That's just ridiculous. Alpaslan with the throw. Mustafa Salam... Beautiful ball to pick out Omer Korkmaz. Great vision there. Anil Aras whips in across. Comes out to Van de Gen. Oscar. And it's the youngster. It's a 16-year-old Anil Aras. He's scored his first goal for Genclerbirligi. Great play from the youngster there. He was involved in that. He set up the initial chance here. The defence headed it out, but not far enough. And then he's there to pick up the rebound from Oscar's shot. Well done, young Anil, on your first goal of many, we hope. First goal of many. I do have a lot of right wingers, though, because obviously we've got Evren Şengül, we've got Mehmet Dikmen. They're the first team squad members. We've got this guy, we've got another guy, Timuçin Ceylan, who's out on loan at the moment, and he's tearing it up in the first league, the division below the Super Lig in Turkey. So we're very much sport for choice there, and people are still complaining that I sold Ataturk. I did actually check in on Ataturk, see what he's doing over at Schalke. Nothing. He's bench warming. He's had like 7 appearances all season, something like that. He should have just stayed where he was. All right, reaching the hour mark now, and we get our first highlight of the second half. Oscar whips one in. Gustafsson off the crossbar, very nearly 2-0. Alanyaspor only 1 shot so far, of course, with that poor striker all on his own in our half of the pitch. Okay, Korkmaz picks that one up. Good play from him. Mustafa Salam to Gustafsson. Back to Salam. Korkmaz again. Van de Gen. Salam. Van de Gen. Okay, they're passing it around in a nice, neat triangle. Waiting for the opening. Good. Here's Mustafa Salam. I thought he could just thread the ball through, and I do not know why we just watched that extra long highlight just for Salam to get dispossessed on the edge of the area. All right, it's going to be time to make a sub, I think. Who are we looking at to take off? Mustafa Salam is the most tired of the players out there. Gustafsson, only on a 6.4, so we'll put Basse on in his place. They're in that patch of weird form again where just whoever starts doesn't do well, and then they get subbed off in the second half, and usually the guy coming on scores a goal. And Tarek Demir, he's been immense this season, so he can come on for Savic, because Savic is on a yellow, which means Salah Aktekin is going to play the full 90 minutes in his first ever game. How many 15-year-olds can say they've done that? No further highlights so far. We're going to make one last substitution, and it's going to be Pimienta coming on for Van de Gen. We'll encourage the team. Come on, let's make this a bit of a spectacle. The final ever match at this stadium for us. But we're into injury time. Are Alanyaspor going to spoil the party? No, Alpaslan says. That's it. Okay, we ground out 2 1-0 wins today. I say ground out, we had 30 shots, but only 9 on target. Obviously, their ultra defensive setup restricted us a little bit in that sense. So, back to the dressing room. Nice victory. What else can we say on the final day of the season? Nobody seems that bothered. All right then, so let's just have a quick look at the final table. It's over here. So we got 89 points. It was in the news before the game that our previous record was 88 points, so we've broken that record. Great stuff there. Galatasaray, bit of a distant second. 19 points back. Besiktas third. Fenerbahce ended up fourth. So the big three have kind of had a resurgence of sorts this season. They weren't able... I mean, Galatasaray and Besiktas were ahead of us for a while there, but once we took the lead, we never looked back. So interesting that they've come back in this way, and then obviously with us doing the double, that's opened up an extra Europa League spot. One thing with the coefficients, just to remind you, that now Turkey only get one team in the Champions League. We're going to enter in the second qualifying round very early on, and the other three, Galatasaray, Besiktas, Fenerbahce, are all going to go into the Europa League. Fenerbahce are probably going to start playing in the Europa League like tomorrow or something like that. But in a way that could be good, because a lot of the Turkish teams, when we've had teams like Sivasspor, Konyaspor and Akhisarspor in Europe, they've just been knocked out in the first round. So that's part of the reason the coefficients dip so much. So hopefully having these big boys in there is going to bring the coefficient back up. So here we are once again for all the end of season awards. So here's our overall best 11. We've had a few players inducted this year. Hakan Gustafsson, Mosameng, Besse, Van de Gen and Stefan Savic have all been added to the squad there. Let's have a look at the end of season awards. So Hakan Gustafsson is the fans player of the season. He was also the second top scorer in the Super League. The top scorer was a guy called Christian Johansson, a Danish player on loan from Man City to Galatasaray. So he's on loan, doesn't really count. Mustafa Salam was second, and Mehmet Dikmen, interesting, second. The fans love the second choice right winger, because Ataturk was player of the season before this. But okay, Mehmet Dikmen this time. Goal of the season, Pim van de Gen. Yeah, he got second, I think, in the overall league goal of the season award for that screamer. Signing of the season, of course, Daniel Gurey, who we got on a free, can you believe it, free. And Mehmet Dikmen, young player of the season, makes sense as he featured in the player of the season side of things as well. So on the stats side, overall in all competitions, top scorer Hakan Gustafsson, 27 goals, best season from him yet. Highest average rating, Gurey with a 7.67, fantastic, helped by the fact that he got 16 assists. Van de Gen has really come on strongly this season, 90% pass completion, that's great. Gustafsson again, 7 Man of the Match awards. Ensberger, our worst discipline from the German. You'd normally expect a German player to be much more level-headed. 9 yellows and a red as well. So you see here how we are ready for this new stadium. Our stadium this year was 98% full in the league, so we're definitely ready to move into that 42,000 seat stadium. Very much excited about that, especially as we sold a player, remember, to Real Madrid, and there was an arrange friendly clause in there. So guess who's going to be the first team to visit the new stadium? And the board, of course, are happy, delighted with the way I'm leading the team. Club stature, club philosophies, Gerrit Holtman, pay attention. Matches and tactics are all ranked pretty highly. So let's just take a closer look at the squad then. So we won't count Akaya because he only had 1 start and he got an 8.4. But Gurey, you can see, we already said, highest average rating. So Mehmet Dikmen, that's obviously why he's impressed people. 24 starts, 9 goals and 15 assists. got to say that's pretty good, actually, even as a backup. That's one thing. Evren Şengül came to me to complain about lack of first-team football, and since we won the title, I've just been giving the younger players so many chances out on the right wing that he started to sulk that he's not playing anymore. Gerrit Altman did all right with fewer starts. I think he's likely to leave in the summer, though. We've still got this Chinese club interested in him, Jiangsu, and seeing as he's still unhappy about the departure of Ataturk, well, maybe it's time for him to move on and make space for other people. What I've got to watch out for, though, you'll see lots of wanted signs coming up here. Gure, wanted by Barcelona, amongst others. Sevilla, Wolfsburg, Leipzig as well. So some pretty big teams after him. But you can see, I mean, his ability and potential, easily the highest, certainly for ability in our current team. So it won't be surprised that there's interest there. There's also heavy interest in Mosameng, FC Bayern, Liverpool. They're both interested in signing him. Jakob Duman, Ajax are after him as well. So it's going to be the usual summer of fighting off all the suitors for my best players. Let's have a look. So assists, we know Daniel Gure was on top there. So Mehmet Dikmen was second. Then Oscar. Evren Şengül kind of, had a bit of a quieter season this time. For goals, after Gustafsson, it was Besse. So it's good there that most of the time I just play one striker up top. So rotating between the two of them, they got 50 goals between them. That's highly impressive. Gure with 12. Mustafa Salam, fantastic stuff from him, with 10. Let's have a closer look at his profile, see how he's developing. So you see he's now got up to 3 stars for his current ability. Still has that 5-star potential, so I'll be looking for more from him next season. Big things from him in the future, hopefully. Also, just to show you, Ömer Korkmaz is now 19, so he's been in the team for quite some time. Also another 5-star potential ability player, 3.5 stars for his current ability. I mean, we don't play that formation with a defensive midfielder all the time, but when we do, he's certainly the first pick. And ranking the players by potential now, so you see Anıl Aras, who scored in that last league game, he's right up there. He's now at 2 stars current ability. Wow, that's jumped quickly. Salam, Tarık Demir, Oscar, Korkmaz, Mosameng, these are all guys with 5-star potential. So, the future's very bright as far as they're concerned. Nobody older than 20 in that group of players. So definitely a lot to look forward to. Okay then, that's another season complete. 7 seasons complete now with Genclerbirligi. 5 titles in the bag. 5 cups in the bag, I believe. Or is it 4? Probably 4. 4 cups in the bag. And I don't know, I lost count of the Super Cups a long time ago. So the only disappointment this year will be that collapse against Tottenham. We should have gone through there, especially after the 3-3 in the first leg, especially after taking the lead in the home leg. We should have won that match. We should have gone through. Tottenham got knocked out in the next round by Leverkusen. Leverkusen, I think we beat them in the group stage last season. So, that's disappointing. If we got past Tottenham, I think we would have had a chance against Leverkusen. But, it wasn't to be this season. So what do you think for next season? Can we get a bit further in Europe? And what can we do to hold on to our players? Or are we going to have to be relying on youth next season? Let me know in the comments below. As ever, please like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I'm Dodgy Gamer. See you again next season.